Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to look at three things. First, how to index an object added to the S3 bucket to DynamoDB table using a Lambda function. Second, how to perform an asynchronous execution of a Lambda function. And third, how to use the destinations in the Lambda function. To implement all these three things, I have created this function and I'll be providing the link to this GitHub repository. This function simply takes the data from the S3 bucket whenever a file or object is uploaded there. It triggers the Lambda function and it fetches all these details from the metadata. It then loads those details in the DynamoDB table and completes the execution. So I have taken this function, I have pasted it in the Lambda function. Apart from this, I have created two things. So I have created triggers. So when I click here, you can see the two bucket names are available here. This bucket does not have the versioning on, whereas this bucket has the versioning on. So I wanted to capture both version bucket details and the non-version bucket details. If you want to add another bucket, you can just click on the add trigger, select the S3 service from here, and then it provides all these options. So you have to select a bucket and then you have to select which action you want to trigger it. You have to provide the prefixes if you want to restrict your action to some particular folders or prefixes, and similarly you have to provide the extensions or the suffixes. And then just you have to click add by acknowledging this condition. You have to click add and this will be added to your trigger. Going back to the function. Apart from the triggers, I have added two destinations. So destinations, let me just go into that. So these are the two destinations I have added: asynchronous invocation on success and failure. So whenever my Lambda function execution is successful, data will be loaded to this path, and whenever it is failed, it will be loaded to this path. So these are the destinations. For the destination, I have chosen Amazon SQS queues. I have created two queues which are given here, the indexing success queue and S3 indexing failure queue. While adding, you just have to click on the add destination. You have to select whether it is a asynchronous invocation or stream. You have to select the condition when this will be invoked, on failure, on success. You have to select the type of service, and then for that you have to select the queue. Let's say if I have selected the SQS queue, I have to select which queue should be called here, and then I have to save it. Make sure that you have added all the privileges to access the S3 bucket and your triggers and destinations via the Lambda function. So firstly, we'll go to the S3 bucket and I'll show you how it works. So let me go to the bucket and upload one file. So I'm uploading this file and it is successfully uploaded. Now if I go to the CloudWatch logs, I can see one entry here and it says there is an error. Okay, so I'll show you how this error will be reflected in our destination. Now it says that local variable item count reference before the assignment, and this is the error. Now if I go to my SQS queue and if I refresh it, it will take some time to reflect because whenever there is an error, Lambda retries the execution for a few more times before it is lodged into the failure queue. So I'll just pause the video for some time, and when it is done, I'll come back to it. We are back, and the process of retries has been completed. Now if we go back to our CloudWatch, we can see that it has retried it twice after the failure. That means the total 3 tries it has done. and all three were failure. If I go back to my SQS queue, I can see in the failure queue, one message is available, and if I pull it, I'll be able to see the message. So let's start the polling, and this is the message. We have the details of the message and the body. So all the details about the message are given, like what the region was, what was the action, the IP address, the bucket name, the object name, and also the error, the local variable item count reference before the assignment. So because of this error, the execution was not successful, and it has created an entry in the SQS queue, which can be later analyzed by the development team or the support team to see what was the issue, and they can rectify it. Similarly, if we execute some operation which is successful, that entry will be made to the success queue, and also it will add that S3 object metadata into the DynamoDB table. So in the next session, let's see how the successful entry works. I've updated the code and removed the error. So let's add another file and see how it goes to the success path. Now, this time let's add a state file. Okay, so the file has been uploaded. Now let's check the CloudWatch log. We have the second entry. And now we can see that it has successfully executed. It has also given me the message that we have added a record for this buckets. This key has been added to the DynamoDB table. If we go to the DynamoDB table and scan it, we can see the metadata entry. So we have a bucket name, we have the object key, we have the time at which that object was created, then the bucket region, the S3 object tag, the object size, version. Since this bucket is not version, the way we have written our code, we provide not applicable, and then the source IP and the user ID. So all these details are added. If we go to the SQS and refresh it, we can see one entry available to our success queue. Let's go and pull the data. And this is the message available. If we scroll down the body, we can see that the bucket name is provided, the key name is provided, and then finally we have the success message that the process has been completed, and one item is added to the S3 metadata DynamoDB table. So after the successful execution of the Lambda function, it has triggered the destination which is supposed to trigger after the success, and in case of failure, it has triggered the failure tree. So this is how asynchronous execution works in Lambda. And in the same way, we have also seen how the S3 objects can be indexed into the DynamoDB table, because S3 by default doesn't provide the details about the object indexing. Before we close this video, I will also show you how the index object can be treated. So as I mentioned, I have added another trigger here. One is the index bucket and another is non-index. So if we go here and we upload a file, let's add the same CT file. This is a different bucket, so it should not be a problem. And say upload. So the process of upload has been completed. It has internally triggered the Lambda function. Let's check the entry in CloudWatch. And we have the second entry, the file deletion test bucket, and the CT object has been added. So let's check the SQS queue. We have the second entry here in the success queue because the upload was successful. Let's poll the message. Okay, now it is saying 2 because we have polled the first message twice. This is the latest message. And if we scroll down, we can see the name of the bucket. This is the version bucket. So we have a version ID as well for the file, and the key, the key is city.txt. Now if we go to the DynamoDB table, we should be able to see the second entry. And here is the second entry we have. So file deletion test bucket is the bucket name. CT text is the file. The details about the when it was uploaded, the region, tag, size, and then here we have the version number. So the version number is ending with XDL, and if we go to our bucket, we can also see the same version number there. So let me show version, and it is the version number ending with XDL. So in this way, whatever objects we have added to our S3 buckets are indexed in the DynamoDB table, and we can quickly refer those objects and we can fetch those details as per our requirement. So that's the short video on S3 object indexing, asynchronous Lambda execution, and the use of destination uh, in the Lambda function. So I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.